a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
But apparently the gods didn't want to be thanked. At that moment, I heard a sound like 1,000 trash compactors crushing metal. I whirled around. Behind us, the scrap mountain was boiling, rising up. The 10 toes tilted over, and I realized why they looked like toes. They were toes. The thing that rose up from the metal was a bronze giant in full Greek battle armor. He was impossibly tall, a skyscraper with legs and arms. He gleamed wickedly in the moonlight. He looked down at us, and his face was deformed. The left side was partially melted off. His joints creaked with rust, and across his armored chest, written in thick dust by some giant finger, were the words, "Wash me."
Welcome to Of the Oldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I'm Ray from Cabin 12.
And I'm Charlie from Cabin 13.
And I'm Juice, also from Cabin 12.
And I'm Sam, I'm from Cabin 11. Somehow we have every number above 10.
Yeah, these are the card suits, like, not suits, the face cards. We're all...
My name is Jack.
Jack, King, Queen.
Yeah.
No, we're actually all Jacks. Jacks of all trades.
Oh, yeah.
But, shush.
We did it. We did it, folks. God, this has already been a chaotic time. My God.
Yeah. Even just starting this podcast, guys, this was such a mistake. And yet I'm delighted.
The entire chaos
yes,
crew,
Juice.
except Ted.
Okay, I know that this isn't really like a red versus blue zone, but I do feel compelled to come back to it and talk about how this feels very much like that episode in, I think it was like season 12 or something, where it was all of the freelancers that don't get mentioned in the normal show. It was like Iowa and Ohio.
Ohio's my favorite character in Red vs. Blue, to be honest.
I now need to watch Red vs. Blue.
No, you really don't. It's okay, don't do it.
It was 2 episodes written by one guy who only wrote those 2 episodes, but they were glorious.
They were so good.
She was a lesbian. It was a microcosm of the entire series.
They were glorious. She was a lesbian.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But I kind of feel the vibe you're getting at.
Like, we are the reserve campers. They don't send us out for the big battles. You know, if everybody else dies, we are the ones that get sent out.
We cause too much trouble.
Are you ready to put that in writing? If I die, are you ready to take up the mantle?
Yes.
There must always be 2. It's like
there must always be 2.
The McElroy brothers and
only a Sith deals in absolutes.
The worst idea of all time guys, Till Death Do Us Blart, where there must always be 5 and they all have to have a successor.
Yes. Also, Charlie, only Siths deal in absolutes is an absolute.
Yeah.
Oh,
correct.
Got him.
You're right. I know.
I see.
Every philosophy that is actually stated by a character in Star Wars is bad. There's good philosophies in the morals of the things, but every time that somebody says something, it's like the dumbest shit.
Yeah. Can we just say it? Star Wars is just not great. I'm sorry, Star Wars fans, but it's not the best. It could be better.
I enjoy the concepts of some of the things.
Oh yeah, I love
enjoy
the
some of
concept.
characters.
The plot is a little bit too complicated. I think as soon as space or time travel or magic is involved, then shit hits the fan and I very quickly lose interest if you're not careful.
It has magic and space.
Yeah, magic in space. It's just fantasy, but also in space, so we can make it extra complicated just to bother you, Sam.
So we can bully nerds. Also, I love Juice's excessive use of the hands up function.
I don't like interrupting people, and I think that it makes it easier for Ray and Charlie when they go back into the edit because there's less crosstalk.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Aw.
You're so nice. None of us are nice.
I would like to give a brief shout out to Canadian author E.K. Johnson for her amazing Star Wars novels. If you don't like the new trilogy, read the books.
Ooh. I only liked The Force Awakens, and the rest of them I thought... I watched the second one, and I was like, not really for me. And then I heard the third one, fucking sucked, so I didn't even go see it.
The Force Awakens, here's the thing. I'm sorry, Sam, please go ahead.
No,
this
you
is a
go.
Star Wars podcast now.
Yeah.
It's been 10 minutes.
I'm sorry, we should get back. We should get back to the real show.
Well, I want you to say your thought now, because it's gonna kill me if I don't.
Okay, so... I used The Force Awakens as my senior project in grade 12 English as my, independent study project, and I ended up watching it, 30 times because of that.
Oh,
I saw
boy.
it three times in theaters, and
Yeah?
That sounds dangerous.
I downloaded a cam rip of it before it was available online,
Oh,
so that I
God.
could continue to analyze it. Anyway, that is all.
Incredible.
Juicy
Well, did
fucking
that
nuts.
affect your feeling of the film?
Here's the thing. I think The Force Awakens was extremely good.
Good.
It's potentially, at the time, it was maybe actually the best Star Wars movie. I'm not kidding. But
I would agree.
its association with the other works in the trilogy weakened it supremely. And
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Let's move on before I go off on another tangent, because I am about to. We should actually talk more off of podcast. We
Yeah.
should just have regular calls so that we
I
don't do
know.
this.
I miss our
Write them
regular
down.
calls when Juice used to just call me randomly and be like, "Hey, what's up, bud?"
We definitely should organize it. The Chaos Gang should just at least meet up once a month, just for shits and giggles.
Absolutely. I bought some Jackbox games because they were on sale recently. We could play Quiplash.
Oh, Quiplash at 9 a.m. in the morning on a Friday sounds amazing.
Incredible. All right. Let's. Oh my God!
What
It's
is this
been
chapter
15
about?
minutes. Let's talk about Percy Jackson. We haven't even mentioned him. My boy, my son.
Let's talk about Percy Jackson. My son, Perseus Jackson.
Our boy,
I love him. I do.
our boy. He's our boy. We love him.
The communist Bugs Bunny meme, our boy.
Big mood.
So what did we do when we visited the Junkyard of the Gods, Ray? Do you have a summary?
We
for
did
us?
so much fucking shit, guys. This chapter is so long. All right.
Yeah, why did Charlie make me read this much?
Buckle up. A giant boar drops the party off in Gila Claw, Arizona, and it eats a cactus, which doesn't sound very comfortable at all. Even though the party has been leery of deserts the entire quest, nobody mentions it at all, which is great. Grover divines that they will meet danger in the junk field. We have a conversation around the campfire scene, which has been a long time coming, to be honest. Everybody needs one of those.
Big mood.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's important, especially when you've got a band of 5 instead of 3 like we normally do. We have to sit around the campfire and talk about our feelings. Anyways, Percy and Grover figure out that Bianca and Nico stayed at the Lotus Hotel and Casino for 70 years and neither of them noticed, which is as horrifying as it is a little bit funny. Ares and Aphrodite come by to talk to Percy specifically because he is a very special boy. And Aphrodite ends up sounding like those shippers who ignore all the other parts of a narrative in favor of hoping that their faves get together, which is a valid way to enjoy media, but TBH, Percy has other shit going on.
Oh, I love this take.
And then they drop them off in the Junkyard of the Gods, the titular Junkyard of the Gods, which is apparently Hephaestus's shit. And they get explicit instructions to not touch anything, and so of course they touch a bunch of things. Also, we have a little bit of talk about the environment and light pollution, which I appreciate because that's important to me. I would like to see more stars. Thank you.
Mood.
Anyways, we get attacked by a bronze giant who is apparently Talos, but also maybe not Talos, like a prototype or something. It doesn't matter. It's technically Bianca's fault because she grabbed a figurine for Nico.
How dare she?
She loves her brother. Anyways, so she has to play Deadly Shadow of the Colossus. And then we don't even get to find her corpse, and I'm upset about it.
Okay, would you Would you want to see her corpse? Would you want to?
I would like some closure, please.
I would like to see the corpse.
I would like to bring her back home to her family.
What family?
Let's see a child,
She has a
dead
brother!
child here in this pile of junk. Let's see it.
I don't think giving a 12-year-old a corpse is a good idea.
No. I'm saying we could have a funeral, perhaps. I mean, I don't need him to, like, keep it in his, like, cabin or some shit.
That got very dark. Oh boy. Well, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if you don't see the corpse, there's gonna be people who are like, oh, she didn't really, like, die. It's probably, like, a fake out type thing. And also, it feels weird. It, like, the moment, I feel like, has less weight than it should because of that, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Which, like, we should probably get to that later, but I wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. Well, for now, let's get into our myth context with, in case you mythed it, but Ray, you didn't do
I
it.
managed to. I don't know that I should because I feel like it's gonna mess it up in the edit. I do want to do. Okay,
It's great.
If you're giving me explicit permission to,
I think it's funny when you do it because then it doesn't sink at all, and it's like beautiful in how bad it is.
okay, good. I'm glad that you enjoy that.
In this chapter, a couple times mentioned Ursa Major, the constellation. So that is based
Indeed.
off of Callisto, who was one of the, not necessarily hunters of Artemis, just followers. They're just followers of Artemis in mythology. Yeah, Callisto was a nymph, and she liked Artemis, like just a little bit, like maybe a little bit more than that. So when of course Zeus was like, she hot, you know what I'm gonna do?
Zeus, you dick.
I'm gonna turn into Artemis and then seduce you. So
Hey, I'm Angie.
yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, it's not a great time.
Can we talk about how it worked, though? Can we talk about how Callisto, follower of Artemis, was in fact seduced? Not by Artemis.
Was Artemis having regular sex? Like,
So, I mean, in the mythology, it's actually not super, like, it's not always that the followers of Artemis can't have sexual relations. That's more...
Oh, I know. I
Yeah.
know. I'm
We're just talking about the gayness of it all.
just the gayness? I mean...
I'm highlighting the sapphic resonances.
Yeah,
I'm-
that's why we have to bring it up, because it's gay. It's really fucking gay.
It
She
is
was
so
in love
gay.
with Artemis. That's why she was seduced.
seduced, if you will.
Ah! I hate you so much.
Thinking about the implications of this in the Percy Jackson verse is making me really upset because,
Yeah.
like she got expelled from Artemis's group, implying that she was a hunter, which implies to me that the reason that they can't have any relations and not just like ones with guys, like nothing between each other anymore in this universe, is because we're trying to avoid like this shit happening and people being fucking raped. And that makes me upset to think about.
Yeah, it's not great all around. Also, of course, Callisto has a child by Zeus because anytime you have sex with Zeus, you're gonna have a child. It's gonna happen.
his semen is just so full of sperm, it literally wriggles.
And you know he's fucking, like, bragging about it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my godly seed is so potent. And you're like, shut up!
He thinks it turns people on, but it really is just a turn off.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so she's turned into a bear by Hera, who's like, you know, always mad at those who Zeus gets with. And yeah. But her son,
Man, get some solidarity.
there's a lot going on with like her son, how like he grows up, becomes a hunter, and like she was almost killed by him because he was a hunter and she's a bear.
That happens. That does happen.
okay, at least this version says that, like, Zeus sets them among the stars. All of this really does depend. Like, there are slightly different versions. I think sometimes Artemis turns her into a bear. Sometimes Artemis puts them in the stars. It varies, but, like, they're always bears.
Okay, what does Zoe say during the chapter?
She's like, it was a good bear, like, a good hunt or something like that.
Yeah, implying that they hunted after the bear, who used to be one of their numbers. So that's, like, weird.
God, I wanna see what it actually says there. What is the quote that Zoe says? It was a fine bear, a worthy opponent.
A worthy opponent. Fascinating.
Worse, actually.
Zoe, are you okay? Like psychologically?
Nah,
What?
she also had had sex with Callisto.
I was gonna say no, she was jealous because she also wanted to fuck Artemis.
You're literally right.
Everyone wants to get in Artemis's pants.
Listen.
Artemis is just fending off people left, right, and center. Stop trying to fuck me.
She really is. Poor Artemis.
I still believe that Zoe kind of has a crush on Artemis. That is firmly one of my beliefs.
As if it's not, like, mutual between them, because it definitely is.
Well, let's move on to another one of the myths I gotta go through here. Let's go to the big beefy automaton boy.
As we are moving on, I'd like to say that my headcanon is that they hunted her to make her into a constellation. They just had to, like, like, follow her while she was being, like, wild beast-like, to, like, save her from other hunters. I don't know. Something like that. I would like to believe that we live in a nice world.
Worthy opponent could also mean that they just, like, they sparred each other, maybe?
Yeah, something.
They're hunters. Something. They who knows? Yeah, so Talos.
Talos.
Also called Talon sometimes. Giant automaton made of bronze. So, here's the fun part. He was built to protect Europa in Crete from pirates and invaders. So he's supposed to be, like, freaking gigantic, so he could circle the island shores daily, like 3 times a day.
Wow.
This guy, fucking nuts. Also, this picture has wings on him? Does he have wings? Is this...
It could be that the finished Talos has wings,
yeah,
but this prototype does not.
Possibly. I didn't recall.
Now you're making me look at it too hard.
Welcome.
It probably depends on who's telling the story, but yeah, we could just say that if he has wings, then this guy was too early for the wing model.
Yeah, probably. But he doesn't have a sword, and, like, the little guy apparently has a sword? The fuck? Rude. Rude. So yeah, made by Hephaestus, of course, at the request of Zeus to protect Europa. But there's also, like, 3 different theories by Pseudo-Apollodorus about Talos. That one is that he might have been, a survivor from the Age of Bronze, because they were bronze men back then. Sure.
I don't think that's what the Age of Bronze meant.
Sure. Then the second one is, like, yeah, that's the story that I just told. He's a bronze man by Hephaestus. And the third one is that he was a bronze bull.
What?
That's the only difference. He's just a bull, but he's still made by Hephaestus.
Bull in the last book.
There was.
Yeah.
Those are from
so
a different story, but yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently the Greeks just like those
they
every
like
once
bulls.
in a while.
There's a lot of bullshit
they
going
like
on here.
balls too.
Bulls, balls, you know.
Balls,
Okay,
and
no los
bronze.
dos.
Bull balls. Yes, works for me. But yeah, there is in fact a precedent for, like, the thing that they used to kill him, kind of. He has one vein from his neck to his ankle. So, like, you sever that, you break that, he dies.
That specifically being canon is not what I expected, is the ankle thing to come back.
What's up with all these ankle things?
That's pretty interesting, given the context that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't bleed out. This says he bled out in the story, but he didn't bleed out. Sad.
The Greek conceptions of what a bronze man would be are apparently different from modern conceptions of automatons.
I mean, yeah, not necessarily that he's a robot, just that he is a made man.
Right.
Oh, so he's like a sex slave.
He's a bit big for that, Sam.
No. There is
You have
someone with a
very
big person
specific kink, though.
Yeah. Metal play.
It's gonna be fun to edit that.
Charlie's in so much pain.
I'm always in pain.
I'm sorry. I'm like silence for 5 minutes, and then here's my sex thoughts.
You know, we need someone to keep this chapter light, so that's what you're here for.
The other interesting thing to me about that, just that he's a protector, and that's also kind of the role he's playing in this, of, like, protecting Hephaestus is like shit.
That's what he's here for. So,
yep, that's all.
Moving on to the sexy, Aphrodite.
Perky boobs herself.
Our love, yeah, she's got a lot going on here.
Oh yeah. The Greeks love to talk about this type of shit. You know, they don't want to tell you about the death gods because they're like, that's bad luck. But Aphrodite, they will give you all kinds of shit about her.
Well, I mean, she's one of those goddesses that, like, Demeter might not pertain to everybody. Like, if you're a farmer, sure. But, like, if you're just, like, a random person, maybe not. But Aphrodite pertains to most people.
A lot of people, yep.
Maybe not, as we are aware of some more people who don't want to deal with some of that shit.
We love arrow bitches. We love arrow bitches.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
We love arrow aces.
And so, like, when you said that, I was like, the Greeks have, like, different kinds of love. And so is she also the goddess of, like, agape? Or, like...
She is not. So she actually has,
Okay.
my brain. She has her little boy band, you know, Eros and the Erotes.
God.
I was gonna say harem, but, like, Eros is sometimes her son, depending on the story.
Incest is a thing.
It is, especially in mythology.
Eros is like her legitimate biological son. We don't want
Sometimes. Sometimes. Listen, Juice. There was a version where Zeus and Persephone fucked. It's all just, everything is
I'm
gonna
making
happen.
a very stank face right now. I'm making a very stank face.
You're welcome. So yeah, Aphrodite, she has a long list of things she's the goddess of here. Lust, beauty, pleasure, passion, procreation, love, yeah, just all
basically, fucking.
Everything, and everything that goes with that.
See, theoretically, passion is also, like, things you're really excited about, but I'm guessing it's the sexual passion shenanigans.
Yeah, it seems like mostly fucking.
It's mostly about fucking. And she's got so many symbols, like so many. Ooh, wait, one of her animals is a bee. I like that.
Good.
I love
She's
that.
a queen bee.
What I like about that is that bees are like pollinators. You know, they're running around sexing up all the flowers.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, though, like, a
right.
beehive is like a big harem as well, right?
True. Also true.
She has Friday. Today is Friday when I'm recording, so this is the perfect day for recording.
It's
For
Friday.
Right.
This is what happens when you get four
Of
people with
all
ADHD
things-
in a room.
I think
God
Rebecca
damn.
Black was at a conference the other day here or something. I remember
Yeah.
reading, I'm like, what the fuck is Rebecca Black doing here in Australia?
Living her best life, TBH. Like,
Oh yeah.
Whatever she wants, that's what she's doing. Let me tell you a little thing about Aphrodite's parentage. Well, there's the version where she's the daughter of Zeus and Dione. Dion. I can't.
Celine Dion.
Celine. Yeah,
Dione, who could say? Probably an actually Greek person.
yeah. Possibly those could be her parents, but the more fun option is the more fun option is when Uranus was killed by Kronos. His fun stuff was chopped off, his genitals. And
His dick and balls.
yeah, it sank into the sea. It created some sea foam, and out of that came Aphrodite. Yay!
Dick
We
foam.
love that.
Dick. We love the dick.
Okay, because it doesn't make any sense for you to throw a dick into the ocean. And is this a metaphor for semen, or is it not? 'Cause
So Aphrodite is just like a sperm now, right?
Wait, semen? Seamen? Like she's from the sea?
Ooh.
I mean, yeah.
There we go.
I love this
Yeah.
idea. I endorse it.
Okay, great. Glad we cleared that up.
I have no answer for you. I just know that she's the goddess of sexuality and she was made from a man's dick.
Which does seem like it says some things about their culture as well.
I was about to say, it's not very big cash money girl boss power.
Yeah, and then she's like the hot, beautiful woman. But it definitely gives her more of like an etherealness because she's older than all the other Olympians then, if you give her that origin story. She's like, she's one of the oldest goddesses. She's more powerful, maybe.
She's the top.
Which does make, like, implications about, like, the power of romantic love in that society and, like, how it's thought of, like, this almost primal force.
Yeah. And there's also, like, two kind of separate versions of Aphrodite that are big in, like, Greek culture. There's the two with the different, like, birth stories, basically, are kind of split into two. So there's Aphrodite Urania, who's like the heavenly form of love, the true peaceful, like non-sexual stuff. And then there's Aphrodite Pandemos, who gets all of the sexy stuff.
Pandemos? Ray, can we put the Among Us music right there?
We can do our best.
Okay.
Are you saying that's sus?
Ray, you're editing this. You can do that. Yeah. There's a lot going on with Aphrodite, and we gotta mention her husband, Hephaestus, who she got through some sus means. Because she did not want to be married to him. She liked Ares. Her and Ares have a thing. They're fucking a lot, and then she's forced into marriage with Hephaestus because there's a couple different versions of that as well.
Yeah, Aphrodite does not seem like a girl who wants to be tied down.
No.
Nah, she'd be sexing around, having sexy time with everyone else, causing mayhem.
But maybe she honestly gets off on cucking her husband. Like, she might be enjoying this a little too much.
Here's the thing, right? I feel as though I did not understand what was going on in this book as a child, but coming back to it, what the hell is up with this scene? Like, you have Aphrodite, who is making Percy very sexually uncomfortable throughout their conversation.
Yeah, pretty accurate for her.
Do we think this is his sexual awakening?
Well, it blatantly isn't, because he thinks that she looks like Annabeth when she first looks at him. Right? So we know that he has an object of sexual desire in Annabeth. However innocent, like, his desire toward her might be because he's a child. But, like, if the goddess of sexual love looks like your BFF, I think maybe you need to think about some things.
He's busy.
I have a feeling it's actually not his fault. I really don't like defending a man, but I do feel like it's a part of, like, the power that she exerts. Just like Ares has that, making Percy feel like an angry asshole and making sassy comments left, right, and center. I feel like part of, like, the magic around her is that when he's in her presence, the object of which he most lusts after, he starts seeing more of. It's like when you're looking for something, or you start seeing, like, numbers in patterns or things like that. You start noticing patterns. It's like, oh, wait a second. For a brief second, I thought you looked like this.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Especially, the actual description, he says that she looked like a movie star he had a crush on when he was a kid, and then Annabeth for a second, and then just, like, he doesn't even know what she looks like. It's just, like, people who he has desired, like, she brings up thoughts of them, even though... And so, like, when I was a kid, I kind of figured that she was just like constantly changing and morphing to whatever would appeal to you at any given moment. But reading it now, I see that she's not really. It's just that magic that she's giving off that makes you think of that kind of thing, so that you can't even see what she even does look like.
Which is a part of her mystique, right? As the goddess of love, is that you're not supposed to. Love doesn't have an identity, really. Love is a concept.
Yeah, and gods are freaking powerful like that. They can just appear. They can be concepts personified. So, how do you say what that looks like? Also, Aphrodite's origins are not entirely Greek. She's Ishtar. She is Ishtar from Mesopotamian stuff. And she's like one of their highest goddesses, the Queen of Heaven, like one of the most important things. So
girl boss.
Yeah.
God.
Was a girl boss, and the Greeks were like, yeah, we'll put her in our pantheon. Like, what a downgrade. But yeah, Aphrodite really does have that shipper thing in her.
Yeah, Aphrodite definitely has shipping goggles on at all times. Yeah.
That's literally like very mythological as well. She's got like so much going on in her personality in mythology, and Rick actually does like a pretty good job at like doing that. Like if you read the Cupid and Psyche story, which I think I want
my favorite.
I'm trying to get Ray to do that with me on the bonus show. Literally, she's just like, no, I do not want my son Cupid to get with Psyche. This is my no TP. I'm not into it. Basically, the entire time. She gets so petty because some people were like, Psyche, she's so beautiful. We're gonna braid her instead of Aphrodite now. Psyche had nothing to do with it.
Of course.
Nothing to do with it. So Aphrodite hated Psyche for that. She is, she's very petty goddess, and
it's like, didn't you say you love love? You don't like this love though because you don't like her personally? Shut up. Come on, girl.
Like, this is why she has her boy band of the Erotes, like, dealing with all the other versions of love. I cannot go into them right now because we do not have enough time, but, like, they cover all the different versions of love. So, Eros and, like, all the other ones, I think they're all, in some version, maybe her children, maybe somebody else's children. It varies, but yeah.
Interesting.
Let's talk about the fucking chapter.
Yeah, let's do it.
We've only been recording for 50 minutes.
Don't worry about it.
Damn it.
Yeah, look, it's the longest chapter. We're supposed to have a 2-hour episode.
Oh boy. So yeah, who wants to ride this boar?
It sounds bad.
Where's the
Honestly,
saddle? Why didn't someone why doesn't Bianca and Zoe have saddles in their backpacks? Like, how rude.
They have everything else.
It's a big boar.
It reminded me a lot of the boar riding segments from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
God. Amazing.
And so...
Are they greatly uncomfortable also?
What? Uncomfortable? Why? Wait, say more about this. Why was it uncomfortable?
Percy says, imagine riding a giant steel brush over a bed of gravel all day.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm assuming all of their butts got sore.
Also, Percy has just ridden Blackjack for like hours on end also.
He's already got a bruise there. Like...
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Okay,
My
you mean,
poor
like,
boy.
Physically, like, yes.
He's got to go and test his fertility.
This is why he's Aphrodite right after this, you know?
Oh
She has
God.
to fix it.
Yeah, that's it. That's why Aphrodite's in this chapter.
I think Ray and I decided at the end of the last chapter that Percy is he's hanging on at the back of the boar. Like, everybody else is comfortable on there, and then Percy's all the way at the back because no one cares. He's fallen off half the time. Like, this is the position he is in while everyone else is comfortable on there.
You know, like
somewhat.
the back of the bus where you feel the potholes the most.
Yeah, that is where he is. So, the boar is just gonna nope off, so they gotta keep going by themselves for a bit. In Gilliclaw, Arizona. That is a name. That sure is a name.
I'm assuming it's Gila, like Gila Monster. but I don't know. I don't live there.
Is it?
Is that word pronounced Gila? Because I always pronounced it Gila as a kid.
I thought so too.
I could be wrong, but I was under the impression that it's a Gila monster.
I need this Googled so I know if my life is a lie.
Let's fact check this. Let's fact check this because I've been calling it Gila monster for many moons, and I really hope I haven't been goofing it up.
I want to know if my life is a lie.
The wiki says Gila.
Oh,
I'm so sorry, everyone.
I'll pop that in my worldview. All right,
my life is a lie.
If you don't take anything else from this episode, if you learn one thing, listeners, it's pronounced Gila monster.
Why is that G there?
Sometimes languages.
Stop fucking around with the English language, everyone.
It's not English, though.
But we did adopt it, because that's what English is. It is the American melting pot, more like the English language melting pot.
Fuck English.
Except we did not melt anything. It's all just a bunch of, like, random ingredients that are just, like, sitting next to each other.
I was gonna say, isn't it a salad now?
Yeah, it is a salad.
It's so weird.
It's a salad now because we don't want to homogenize cultures. We want everyone to be able to have their own culture next to each other.
Then covered it in dressing. I don't eat salad, but I assume that's how it works.
Also, the sass being thrown in this chapter is great. You know, when Grover brings out the acorns and Zoe's like, Percy, you're the deformed one.
Okay, that's so funny of her, though. Zoe's so funny. I love her.
Zoe is great. Just, Percy, why would you ask? Why would you ask? You know you're gonna get sassed into oblivion.
It's like, you're the master of sass, Percy. Why did you do this?
Sometimes when you have ADHD, you just say things when you think them without actually...
I think that's just normal people in general as well.
Okay, no. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm wondering if Grover doesn't smell anything because it's a robot.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably why.
And it's also, like, not even active when he's sniffing. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't give off any monster scent, I wouldn't think. But yeah, he can tell that there's something over there, so they're like, I guess we gotta go over there. And it's like, guys, are we sure that's a good idea?
Let's walk towards the danger.
Well, we gotta go this way, so the party gotta go this way.
I do love how accurate Rick's depiction of, like, the desert night is, where it's like it gets cold really fast, and everyone's, like, trying to huddle up and be warm. And then the whole light, like, the stars thing is so awesome. If anyone's been out in, like, a rural area or even the desert and looking at the stars at night, there's just so much to see, and it's amazing.
What are stars?
I took astronomy in college, and in some of our lab sessions, we went out to, like, a lake and would just, like, look at constellations, and we had to, like, name some as part of, like, a quiz. But that and, like, camping as a kid are the only times when I've seen, like, the Milky Way. Like, I've lived in, like, Midwest for a lot of my life, and still, like, the light pollution's fucking really bad.
Hate it so much.
Yeah.
I would like to see the Milky Way.
Happier things. What else do you think the hunters have in their backpacks?
Okay. I have a thought, which is that they can pull anything out of the backpack and they don't have to put stuff in, but it has to be camping gear and only camping gear.
I like that. That works.
It summons camping gear.
But, like, can they glamp? I'm just saying, can you pull, like, a hairdryer out of there?
No, that's not camping gear. Come on.
That is glamping gear.
Glamping? Okay.
Glamorous camping.
I did not know what you were saying. I see now.
Have you not heard of glamping?
I think I've heard that maybe once in my life. I had forgotten that it existed. Yeah. Because it sounds dumb to me.
It is very dumb, but also I just think it's funny. I'm like, well, that's a form of camping, so...
There's no fucking way Artemis would give them magic hair dryers.
True.
No, see, that would be in Jane Blonde, which is the middle grade's parody of James Blonde starring a middle school girl.
Oh my god.
Did any of you guys read Jane Blonde as kid? I'm sorry, I'm going way
No.
off.
I only watched Totally Spies, which I'm assuming is basically the same.
Totally Spies also definitely does have that, yeah.
I have no idea what this is.
I'll send you a link, Charlie. It's all right. Don't worry about me.
All right.
Charlie, do you not know about Totally Spies, though?
I didn't really watch it as a kid. I know it exists, though. I know it's a thing, and I know it's good and
My
campy,
pain.
So
I loved them.
I would
mean,
like
I
to
didn't
inform
watch
the
it
listener.
a lot,
Poor
but
listener.
they were so cute.
I feel sorry for the listener. I have no idea what's going on here. This is
Sam, I'm so sorry, but also, do y'all not have Totally Spies in Australia? What's the problem here?
nothing. Maybe I don't know.
Totally Spies, I believe, is French Canadian, and they're like based on James Bond and the movie Clueless, and they're just three girls who live in California and love fashion and are also international spies. And also, that show has a weird reputation for having a lot of fetishes in it accidentally. But let's.
Oh, right. I'm sorry you had to hear it this way, but it
boy.
definitely wasn't unintentional.
I don't make me think about that. Let's move on.
Okay.
So I love that Thalia uses lightning to start the campfire. That's great. I think the hunters probably would have used rocks, but you know, let's do it the
I'm
cool
assuming
way.
this is faster.
This is way cooler.
It's nice to have everyone contribute.
We gotta have a little argument with Zoe about the these and the thous and the English language.
Oh god.
I'm gonna come down on this. Leave her alone.
No,
Like-
in my head canon's always like anti-pronouns.
No.
She's like, stop changing the rules. I can't get it right. I'm trying to be right. I can't get it right.
Zoe's pronouns are thee and thou.
See, here's the thing. Here's my anti-headcanon to Sam's headcanon, which
Love
is that if a huntress ever sees a turf, it's death on sight. So
I agree.
I agree too.
Big
Don't get me
mood.
wrong. I think Zoe is like one of the biggest allies out there. But I think that Zoe still really does struggle with the pronouns and is like actively frustrated that she can't get the pronouns right.
Well, yeah, thee and thou and thy are pronouns, and she's fucking them up.
Those
so-
are technically pronouns.
here's the thing. Her first language isn't even English. We need to
Yeah.
remember her first language is ancient Greek, right? And so
We have learned that
Like-
much so far. Yes.
imagine the amount of languages that she's had to go through while she's
Yeah.
traveling the globe.
Imagine English as a second language, but like you're from ancient Greece.
And so clearly she did learn Shakespearean,
Elizabethan. Yeah.
I can't say
Early
words.
modern.
Yeah, she learned early modern English, and then they started to switch it up on her, and she's like, wait, I just got this shit.
Now, here's the thing that I want to talk about as a scholar of the early modern period. Thee and thy are the informal you.
Wow.
Oh.
Right.
There is actually a scene in the play. Oh, fuck. I forget the name of the play. Okay, long story short, one of the ways that I remember this is because there is this scene in this French play in which the female main character asks her, like, servant male, like, her love interest. She asks him to call her thou because it would mean that they are, like, close. Their relationship is close.
Cute. That's sweet.
No, I mean, it's actually very toxic. Their relationship isn't good.
Oh,
but
okay.
because she's his
But
employer.
like conceptually, it's like, you know, in your animes where they're like, you
Yes.
can start using my first name.
Yeah, yeah. Call me Chan instead of Senpai. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Right. So basically she's saying I have no respect for none of y'all.
Well, no. So here's the thing, though, is because the English language evolved in such a way from the early modern period that we stopped using informal language because of how formal the English language got socially.
Oh god.
Like the strictures of society were such that you could no longer talk to anybody using informal pronouns. But nobody talks about that.
Well,
Fake news.
But anyway, but here's the other thing. Because she calls everybody she meets like thy and thou, they did use you. Contemporary to the early modern period, you will see tons of characters in Shakespeare plays calling each other you or your instead of like thee or thine if they are speaking to somebody be above their station, right?
So
You only see thee and thy used in, like, the comedies between friends, right?
Mm.
That's why it is present, because they're friends.
So she just thinks of everyone as her friend. They're all friends to her.
No, well, it speaks either to a profound disrespect for everybody around her,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
or Rick didn't know any of this.
I'm
And
gonna say
due to
Rick
his
didn't know any of this.
Okay, clearly Rick doesn't know any of this. That means that, one, she is 100% fucking with Thalia, which is funny of her.
Oh yeah.
Because she knows how to use you.
That's my headcanon.
That is also a pronoun set
at all times.
when she learned English.
Zoe is always fucking with Thalia.
Also, that means that, two, yeah, she is very informal generally and has no respect for nobody. She probably only uses you pronouns for Artemis. That's the only person worthy of her respect.
Wait, we need to double check that. I'm gonna need to double check this later. See if this theory works. Yeah.
I don't even care what Rick did. That's just my headcanon from now on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. What I find fascinating about that all is the fact that, you know, I don't know, it's so hard to tell because Thalia is so up herself, which is very, by the way, a deeply un-Australian kind of thing. You know, you are not the best person in the room, shut the fuck up. But, like, it is so hard to tell, like, what is, you know, what she's taking seriously and what she's experimenting with, because when someone tries to call her out or correct her, she immediately goes into defensive mode. And so you don't actually really see a human side of her other than her fear and her worry.
Yeah, she's really uptight all the time, which I think makes a lot of sense for the situations that she's been in. But yeah, it makes her a little hard to get along with.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Whereas Zoe, by comparison, started out kind of uptight, and now she's like loosening up and becomes more delightful every chapter.
Zoe's great. We stand Zoe on this podcast.
Whereas, like, Percy's relationship with Thalia was probably like kind of the opposite, where they were like chill and then things keep getting tenser and tenser.
Mm-hmm. So what do we think about Grover and this Pan situation? Do we think it was the coffee? Is coffee the answer?
Mean, I guess you can't rule anything out.
I definitely think it was Pan, though. Like, in my head, it definitely was Pan telling Grover he's going in the right direction. And so when we do, like, get further into this Pan plot, we can, you know, basically turn around and the events leading up to, you know, significant other plot points will make sense, you know, as to why it's so hard.
Sam, I thought you were gonna come up with like just a stupid answer there. You're fine. You're fine. I was hoping for stupid answers.
I think it would be really great foreshadowing, but it could also just definitely be farts.
I
Oh my goodness.
think Pan really likes the coffee in Cloudcroft. I think that's why he's like, you got my blessing now. That's it.
We can't rule it out. So I don't know that Pan is just like chilling in Cloudcroft, New Mexico. Oh wait, where was that? It was not New Mexico.
It was New Mexico. They're in Arizona now.
Okay, good.
That was New Mexico.
Okay, great. Anyways, he could just be chilling out in New Mexico, but I sort of thought that it was more like about them as people. It was just like a sign from Pan that he's not dead rather than a thing. I feel like that's like a purposeful thing that he has done for them rather than just being like, I bet he likes coffee or is in the area or whatever. But clearly I've forgotten
We will find things
lots of
out.
things. So yeah.
Maybe.
I'm excited to be proven an idiot by the next book.
I remember things and you don't.
I remember some. I have approximate knowledge of many things.
Who needs precise knowledge when you can be a jack of all trades, a master of none? But a jack of all trades is better than a jack of one, is the end of that saying, anyway. I went straight from, let's talk about how great Ray is, to, here's a saying that I remember.
Well,
That's always good when people only ever say the first half of shit.
yeah.
People only like foreplay.
Sam. Well, we still don't know why Bianca was able to kill that skeleton. And she's uncomfortable, but the conversation just keeps getting more uncomfortable from there because we are like, we can't go to Las Vegas. Why can't we go to Las Vegas? Well, Percy and Grover, we know about their trauma, but we learn about Bianca's trauma with Las Vegas. Okay, why does she have such a strong reaction to, no, we can't go there, before she knows...
Charlie, you know why.
But like...
Come on.
But like, she didn't know how long she was there? Why does she not like
it feels like a very instinctual reaction, like that even though she like mentally has not put together that they were there for 70 years, like something in her body has like this fight or flight response to even the idea of the casino because she can tell that something is wrong.
I like that.
Yeah, I also feel like it's the whole hunter's instinct of, no, let's not go to Las Vegas because I was trapped there. And like in the back of her psyche somewhere, it's like, I was trapped there for 70 years.
So we learn about that. Do we not all love the can you tell me the name of the president of the United States right now? She told us the correct name of the president. That. The fact that Rick is like, I'm not gonna date this. So it's like, she told us the correct name of the president.
Which is all you need. It's all you need to know.
I mean, still, it's funny. I think at this time it would have been Bush. This was 2007?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, it would have been the Bush administration.
Yeah. The Bush administration was just my whole childhood, so.
Yeah, I relate. So Roosevelt was president when Bianca was a child, apparently. Franklin, thank God, not
Franklin
Theodore.
Delano Roosevelt.
FDR, my dudes.
Like FDR Drive?
I love that.
Percy!
It is such a like ADHD thing. It's like, oh, I remember a fact. Let me share it with a class.
Okay, I feel like that's also like a preteen thing. Okay, only a preteen or younger could time travel 70 years and not notice.
Here's the thing that I think about constantly while I'm reading this book. How did they not pick up on Bianca and Nico's, like, weird 1950s mannerisms?
Because they're also Italian, and they do the talk with their hands thing.
They're Italian. They were in a military school. Also,
like,
they were
weird.
in a weird casino for 70 years. What's interesting about that is that, like, from their perspective, that must have been, like, a few months. But, so, like, the casino is constantly updating what it has to, like, modern technology. And so, from their perspective, technology went fucking crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, I can see how that would be, like, believable if you were, like,
and then
you know,
people kept
a
coming
kid.
in, and they would meet somebody from, like, all the different eras. They definitely must have met Disco Darren from, like, the Lightning Thief book.
Oh my god.
God. In the show, are Nico and Bianca gonna be, like, in the background?
That's one of the theories. That is what people
want that so
badly. They're in the musical. Bianca's in the musical.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, Sam, you were gonna say something.
No, yeah, children are, like, really good at adapting to things as well. So it's, like, this whole thing of, like, oh, yeah, it's a new thing. Learns how to use it. Okay, you know. And I think that's probably why Bianca and Nico didn't realize that time before, because their technology looked to them, it'd stay the same. But theoretically, the date hadn't changed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that's really interesting that worked out. And I could get, like, if someone was trying to argue if that was a plot hole, but as a preteen, I did not know shit. Like,
I mean,
you know?
I feel like the date changing might have, like, tipped me off, because I definitely remember as a child writing down, like, the date on all, like, the papers and things. So,
this
like,
is so true.
So, like, going from 40-something to, like, 2007. Yeah,
that you probably would have noticed that.
That might have tipped me off, but, like, who knows? They were, like, drunk in the Lotus Hotel for a while. Sorry, high. They were high in the Lotus Hotel. Sorry.
I'm really hoping that they were not high.
They were in an altered state.
This is true, so they might as well be.
Everyone at the Lotus Hotel Casino is high on Lotus smelling whatever. It's weird because they don't eat the cookies there. The Lotus cookies are only in the movie.
Yes. They're high on the magic of video games.
Same.
They're high on life.
Same.
They're high on life.
I wonder if Nico learned mythomagic while he was in the Lotus Casino. Because it's all about games.
He probably played Mythomagic the whole time.
Yeah.
Whatever way that happened is still funny. Like, either that was a game that they, like, brought in and Nico picked up while there and, you know, perfected since the day that it started coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Or Nico got out of the casino and immediately was like, this shit fucking slaps. I'm gonna collect every single one of these. It is my new hyperfixation. This is all I'm doing now.
Love those ADHD
Well,
kids.
he mentions that he's only been playing the game for a year.
Okay.
Earlier in the
Well,
book, when
has
him
it
and
really
Percy are
been a year?
talking about it. Huh?
Has it really been a year? Because, like, Lotus time.
Yeah.
Well,
but
no, because they got out of whatever the fuck at the beginning of the semester in September, and now
Okay.
it's the end of the school year in the winter, right? So, like,
I didn't remember the timeline, so
Thank you.
I believe you.
well, because Grover's been watching them since they enrolled, right? And they enrolled in this term, and it's the winter now.
So presumably it is option 2, and he started hyperfixating on it as soon as he got out of the casino.
Yeah,
I believe either of these options. I like them all.
checks out to me.
Like, in my head, it's a stand-in for Pokemon, right? And so, Pokemon is something that really hasn't aged much. Like, the trading cards still exist.
Well, yeah, Ash never ages.
Oh, okay, well, here's the thing. So, from what we can glean in the text, I think it is a mix of Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
We have had this conversation
But, like-
many times, Juice.
Oh, you've already had this conversation. Okay, never mind.
We keep trying to figure out how this game, like, officially works. The answer is it doesn't, but, like, from what we learn in this chapter with the mythomagic figurine being in the junkyard a little bit later, I think that means Hephaestus invented mythomagic canonically, because it's all of his junk.
I accept this
He
100%.
invented
yeah,
mythomagic.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Hephaestus assigning all of the other gods, like, PowerPoints and shit
He's a nerd.
is fucking hilarious to me,
He's a
actually.
nerd. I support him.
Well, just the fact that he could be dunking on everyone.
He also would be the god who's a gamer. Like, him and Hermes, they're the gamer gods.
yeah.
I support it.
He's
I
just
love
a
them.
gamer boy.
All right, let's keep going with this fucking chapter, y'all. We got a limo. We got some gods. Percy has a sword to his throat. We're doing great.
Okay, I find it funny that, like, I feel like Percy actually could rile Ares up, like, book 1, and at this point, Ares is like, I don't even fucking care anymore, I'm done with you, kid.
Yeah.
But also he thinks it's kind of funny
I love that
that he's still trying.
Ares has the power to bring the taco place to life.
So he's the god of tacos.
I wasn't thinking about that. This is a ghost town and then you just go to tacos! Ah!
I really want, like, a cutscene of them in where, like, when it comes to the TV series, have the whole intense conversation, but then also, like, cut to, like, them enjoying tacos.
Yeah,
It's
like
like the shawarma scene from Avengers.
That's
but
what
if
I
it
was-
had happened right in the middle.
that's what I was picturing. Like, exactly that. Like, Aphrodite saying something very serious to Percy, and then cut to tacos. Cut back to Percy. What the fuck?
So, I know that we already talked about it, like, a lot. The way that this conversation with Aphrodite goes is, like, pretty uncomfortable. Like, he
Yeah.
is a child, and she is, like, pushing this, you know, romance narrative that he's like, I'm a child. I also have shit to deal with. I haven't thought about this. I don't even, like, want to, like, think about this right now. Like, that's too much for me. And also, like, I'm uncomfortable with you bringing this up. I'm uncomfortable with the way that this interaction is between us. Like, you make me uncomfortable to be around. And it's like, it kind of skeeves me out, just
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do think that is on purpose.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I do think that the reader is supposed to be kind of creeped out by Aphrodite in the same way that Percy is kind of creeped out, in that he has so much trouble processing what's going on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree. Like,
Yeah.
she is meant to be, like, intimidating and ethereal and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the type of goddess she is.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to say that this is like a mistake on Rick's part. I think that it's really interesting.
Oh, no, we're on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah, but also the fact that she's been pushing him onto this quest, like, purposely. She's like, oh, I see my ship here. I see it happening. I'm gonna make sure that the poison t-shirt happens. Ray, we talked about that.
We sure did. What did she have to do with that? Like, what? Ma'am?
Did she give them the centaur blood? Did she drug deal them centaur blood?
We were wondering, like, where they got that shit, so yeah, probably.
She's a drug dealer now.
Anyways, yeah, that's uncomfortable too to even think about, that, like, this goddess has been orchestrating this not to be helpful, like Apollo was trying to be helpful earlier, but because she wants to see how this love story that she cares about is gonna play out.
She's like, this is my OTP, it has to happen.
It's like shipping but toxic, where you're like harassing the creators to make your ships canon.
You know what it's like, when we were talking about this before we started recording, of like where you're like you tell someone you like them, and so they like start putting you in situations where you and the person you like are together alone, or teachers doing it as well, which I think is some of the most toxic shit ever. Ew. Like teachers go, oh, I'm gonna match up these two kids, put them in situations where they're working together, and it's just like, nah, no thank you. Creepy.
Big creepy, indeed.
Yeah, well, they're gods and they can play with humans like they're dolls. So, Aphrodite is the person who smushes the Barbie dolls together and is like, they kiss now.
It's like pushing your action figures together and going, now kiss. Not problematic.
Fight.
Going to actors on Twitter and telling them, now kiss. Problematic.
Oh my god. Have you, sorry, totally tangenting, but
go ahead. Have
you seen the way that, like, Twitter teens are flaming the guy who plays Izzy Hands on Our Flag Means Death?
I haven't, because I avoid Twitter drama like the fucking plague, but I have heard, like, a little bit of aftermath, like, from Tumblr, so...
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's intense and extremely parasocial, and I wish them a very stop.
Yeah. Leave actors the fuck alone, please. Please.
Please.
Please.
Yeah.
Good.
Also, Aphrodite bringing up the fucking Trojan War and love conquers all. Look at Helen and Paris. Did they let anything come between them? I'm sorry. Helen was kidnapped.
This is how you as the reader know that, like, she's being problematic AF.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's a big red flag right there.
We already had too much mythology to go over, so I did not want to bring this into it, but, like, God, if I went into the origins of that, Helen was kidnapped. She's fucking kidnapped. Are there versions of that where she actually loves Paris? I have yet to find them. I have yet to see.
I'm sure somebody did it. Somebody's always done it.
Most of the time, she is an object. Most of the time, she is just an object to be won. And it's not great.
For when I read this, even, like, when I read it today, I imagine Joan of Arc instead of Helen of Troy, so I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
It would not, no. Woman of place.
Yeah. You know, she loved France. She loved France very much. Love conquers all.
Oui. Baguette.
France and Paris. All light bulbs going off.
Oh, we did it. We connected the dots. You didn't connect shit. Yeah, so Aphrodite's like, you gotta be careful in my husband's territory. Don't take anything. Don't take anything. I guess you can touch things, but don't take it from the place.
Barbie Squad? We've all seen Diamond Castle. No, not Diamond Castle. We've all seen Magic of Pegasus. We've all seen...
Wow. Wrong Barbie reference.
I'm sorry. I revoke my Barbie card. We've all seen Magic of Pegasus. We know that Shiver takes the fucking diamonds. Like, you hear that and you're like, somebody's gonna fuck it up.
Are you saying that Bianca is Shiver? Are you comparing Bianca to Shiver, the polar bear?
Well, if the shoe fits.
Well, I'd say this is some Shiver-ass behavior.
Sparkle?
I mean, she does die for it, so I'm not actually...
Imagine if Shiver had died for the sparkles. Imagine.
That movie would be better.
Hot takes tonight.
Wait, you're not allowed to say that.
So many hot takes. All right, so yeah, we're going into Hephaestus's junk.
Nice junk.
God, Sam, you are just like
I just
perpetual horny joke.
I exist in a 12-year-old's brain.
He's the only cishet man here, so that's what he's here for.
Leave him alone.
Never.
He's just a little guy.
I'm here to be mildly creepy with sex jokes.
In this children's book.
We need that E rating somehow. We need to earn that.
We get it from the mythology talk. We get it from that.
Yeah, TBH.
So Percy avoids talking about why Aphrodite really wanted to talk to him and is just like, she was warning us, don't take shit from this junkyard. We're good? Good. Cool.
I love how all the women are immediately suspicious. They're like, that's not why she was here. Be careful. Whatever she said to you, you gotta be careful. It's a trap.
It is a trap.
Also, Grover, an empath, can tell exactly what Percy was feeling, which means that if Percy is, like, vaguely horny after that encounter, then Grover, an empath, can 100% tell.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't that literally what he's afraid of? Percy, like, looks away from Grover.
Yeah.
And then, like...
I don't know that that's the implication, but that's what I'm going to take from that.
That was what I got from it.
What I got from it was that Grover could tell that he was uncomfortable and thinking about Annabeth.
Yeah.
I did not think that the implication in this children's novel was horniness, but...
Oh,
Yeah.
no, okay, not horniness, but...
14-year-old horniness. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
The kind of nebulous, confused horniness. I don't know if that's how guys do it, but...
I can say that, like, as a 14-year-old, I definitely, like, in retrospect, knew that, like, some of my friends were extremely sexually literate and knew what horniness was and maybe were doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing at 14. But there were also people like me who had absolutely zero idea until, you know, a little bit further on.
Okay, yeah. Percy, I do not... Yeah, sexually literate is not how I would describe him whatsoever.
Probably not.
Who knows? Maybe Sally, like, really made him fully sexually literate.
Like, I would assume that she wouldn't send him out without some tools.
He got the birds and the bees.
Yeah, some preparation mentally.
That's why Aphrodite's thing is bees. Sorry.
Oh.
The birds and the bees.
Hey, I don't know what that means. What do birds and bees have to do with anything? Don't actually explain it to me. Let's move on.
I like 5 minutes ago, y'all derailed me a little. I was gonna say, like, imagine, like, Grover sensing, like, everything up until now from Grover's point of view, feeling Percy's emotions and Annabeth's emotions, like, and their crushes on each other through, like, like, everything up so far. Yeah, just that. Anyway.
Grover, hardcore third wheeling.
Always. At all times. It's great. So, we can't touch anything. We're in the Cave of Wonders. We're in the did that place in Magic of Pegasus have a name? It was the...
I don't know. It did. It did, but...
It definitely did.
I don't know it,
but
so...
This is the Cave of Wonders. That's what it is. So, all the cool stuff we pick up, and don't take. There's a hunter's bow that turns into a crescent moon hair clip. We love that.
Which is interesting because we hear about that and Bianca's obviously very interested in it. And we don't hear about the figurine because she very much doesn't want other people to know that she's doing this. She already feels guilty about it, having done it.
Maybe she used the hair clip as, like...
I feel like as the reader, you're supposed to be kind of outraged, like, how could she have been so selfish? And then, like, they reveal that she picked up something for Nico, and that it wasn't a selfish action, it was something for her brother.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, kind of a little twist.
It's a misdirect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all these items are gonna be either defective or cursed. Wonderful. Just think about that.
Like you are, like, okay, that's understandable, I guess. You wanted the one Mythmagic figure that he doesn't have, but also it's definitely cursed. Why are you giving that to your brother? You're so dumb.
Percy picks up an electric guitar shaped like Apollo's lyre. And this also makes me think of a Barbie thing. Diamond Castle. It's the lutes that sound like electric guitars for no goddamn reason, and I love them.
It's so good.
Grover finds a tree made of metal? Alright, sure.
That reminds me of a book series by Tamora Pierce where a girl makes a metal tree. But it's a reference that no one else will get, but I thought of it immediately. So just so you know.
Good to know, Ray. Good to know.
My Circle of Magic homies, where y'all at? Give us some noise.
Also, like, Grover eats metal, so, like, couldn't he just, like, eat a bunch of the shit here? Would that be okay? Would that be bad?
He does eat a little bit of, like, a crown at the beginning,
Oh,
and
right,
I'm like, doesn't that count? Isn't that, like, bad?
He took it away. He took
should-
it out of the place because he ate part of it.
Yeah, exactly. So Grover's just as much to blame.
I also feel like eating the things there is just as bad as taking it out of the field. Like,
Yeah, it seems like a very bad idea. That's cursed metal in your tummy, boy.
So who do you think actually cursed them? Was it Bianca or was it Grover?
I think it was Grover. I blame Grover.
Because okay, when we get to the part where Grover just like throws something at the toes, I blame Grover actually.
I do think that Grover is the sleeper villain of this chapter.
Of this entire book, you mean?
Yeah, Grover's the actual true villain of the Titan's Curse.
Grover has been so bad this whole book. I love the boy, but my god.
He's canceled again.
The entire scene, I kind of forgot that I wanted to talk about this. The whole scene just walking through here is so like tense and uncomfortable, even though nothing's really happening. They're just like looking at cool shit and you're supposed, I think you're just like thinking about cool shit or whatever. But in the back of your mind, I feel like as an audience member, you're like, they said not to touch anything. You're all touching things. And also, we know that this goes wrong because that's what always happens. It's the Cave of Wonders. It's Magic of Pegasus. We get it. And so I feel like there's like this rising tension the entire time. And then like seeing the toes and then Grover throwing something at the toes. And then he's like, I don't know why I did that even. Like something is wrong with this place where, like we were just talking about Ares' magic and Aphrodite's magic. I think that this place also maybe has like an aura of, you want to touch me so fucking bad.
I think it's incredibly clever writing on Rick's part where he doesn't have to do much to build the tension here because the longer that we're in this place, the more likely something catastrophic is going to happen. And so when Bianca does disappear/die at the end of the chapter, it's like, oh, that makes total sense as to why that happened.
Right. Especially if you were actually paying attention, unlike the characters, and remembered that being in a desert is fucking bad.
Yeah.
And that someone will definitely die there. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Like, that we have, like, the really uncomfortable Aphrodite conversation, and then we're in this really uncomfortable, like, location. Even though there's nothing, like, really in the writing that, like, emphasizes that too much, I feel like it's still there, at least for me. And I thought that it makes the whole chapter kind of have this cohesive feeling of, like, doom. I'm done rambling now.
Sorry, I'm still just like, Grover, why the fuck did you do that? So they woke up the big robot man, who has a giant sword.
Oh yeah, where I was going with that is that it's everybody's fault. You weren't supposed to touch anything and everybody touched some shit. So
I think Zoe is the only person who didn't touch shit. Actually, Zoe and Thalia didn't touch anything.
Yeah, because they're used to following orders. But, sorry, there's a sex joke there that I'm just unwilling to explain.
I don't want it. Put it away.
But also, like, what was it? This battle scene is really hard to follow. I did not realize, A, the robot was buried, B, that there's a sword involved. I thought that they were just doing general giant robot shenanigan fight. But no. It's a bit more complicated than that.
Yeah, I can't really comment too much because I am really terrible at following action scenes. I have aphantasia, or at least I'm like close to having aphantasia if I don't like have it entirely, which means that I cannot visualize things in my brain. Like, I don't look at pictures, quote unquote. I don't really know what that means exactly. I can sort of picture things, but it's like I am like doing like a mind meld, like focusing so fucking hard And so anytime I thought of this recently, this is not the episode to get into it on because we are already going so long, but whatever.
Make this a two-parter.
Me reading an action scene is like trying to look at sheet music and figure out what a song sounds like. Like, I maybe can, like, sight read a little bit. I was in choir, but I know a couple chords on the guitar, but it's, like, trying to, like, put it all together and, like, figure out, okay, what would that sound like, though? It's, like, I can't just, like, figure that out exactly. And so, yeah, action scenes, very hard for me. So I can't really comment on it because they're all like that for me.
I personally found all of the action scenes fairly easy to follow, but I mean, that could just be that I like the fast-paced stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, he has just written across his chest, "Wash me."
Right? And a giant finger. God, Rick, he's so funny sometimes.
Just like, why?
For no reason.
It's like that Hephaestus just like threw that out, like wrote that on there and just like threw it. And okay, sure. So the gang is they're all about to fight. They're trying to fight. And this is when we learn that Bianca was actually being selfless. And we don't know what figurine she grabbed, but she grabbed a statue of a god for Nico because he didn't have it.
It's the only one he's missing from his collection.
It's very cute.
Percy has that now, so that's gonna be great.
It's gonna be real great. But yeah, do we want to skip over the part where Bianca fucking dies? Because that's the rest of this now.
But Bianca doesn't die. This is the thing.
Sam,
I'm sorry to tell you this, but Bianca died, and I think that it's a flaw in the writing that it's not very clear.
I refuse to believe it.
It's okay, so y'all know Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's when Jet dies.
Did Jet just die? I don't know. It was really unclear.
Yes, it's that. That's what's happening right here.
This is the first time that a character, a main character or a, like, child has on-screen died in this series.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's this effort to make it, like, less harsh. Like how Jet's death has to be, like, weird and vague and not quite on screen, even though that's what the creators wanted, because, like, your censors are not the most comfortable with just, like, on-screen child death. It feels like that, even though, like, we know this series has some pretty harsh things that happen in it. I think that it is definitely a flaw, especially in a pop culture space where if you don't see a character die on screen, you're not supposed to believe that they're really dead. They're gonna pop up later. And I wonder if that had anything to do with the editors and he wanted to make it clearer, or if he was purposefully trying to go easy on the people reading it, because it is pretty morbid to just have, like, a 12-year-old's corpse, like, around.
Yeah.
And also, what do they do with it at that point?
What would they do with it? That's the other problem.
If they have drachmas, they could probably send her corpse somewhere.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Yeah, it's upsetting to think about, which is why I think it doesn't happen.
This is just making me think of why in Buffy the Vampire Slayer the vampires just turn to dust when they're killed. It's so that Buffy wouldn't have to, like, bury monsters and shit, like, every fucking episode.
Yeah, it's for convenience's sake. Like, in this series, that also is literally what happens. The monsters' bodies turn into dust for convenience, and also so you don't have to think about corpses.
Yay! Yeah.
Yay!
So Bianca goes into the weird hatch in his foot, and then makes him do the funky chicken.
The hatch on the foot is, like, such a, like, modern cartoon, like, trope type thing. And so knowing that he has, like, an actual, like, foot thing in the mythology, it's so good.
That's where
so
that
funny.
originated. Okay, so rereading this, I definitely, like, before, like, re-listening to Percy Jackson podcasts and hearing how she actually died, I definitely used to think that she just, like, got smashed by him, like, just just, like, killed his foot, and then he fell over. I thought that's how it happened, and I, like, totally forgot she goes inside of him.
And then gets, like, electrocuted and crushed by machinery or some bullshit.
You don't want to see that corpse at this point.
Yeah.
You don't want to see this 12-year-old girl who's, like,
Oh,
crushed
don't
and
say
charred.
that.
You don't want to see it.
It is still a really weird scene, because I feel like the only reason that you as an audience member know that you're supposed to be taking this seriously is that Percy tells her, like, you'll die. I think you needed him to say that for setup, or else you would be like, wait, what? She died from that? I don't think she would die from that.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of those things where, like, it takes a little while, and it does. It takes a few chapters beyond here for everyone to fully process it, including the reader.
I had the same issue early on in the book, when Annabeth fell off a cliff, and then we just, like, moved on for a minute, and then, like, a chapter later, we had, like, emotional fallout from that. It feels like, the actual, like, dramatic moments are almost less impactful than I would want them to be. But then I feel like Rick does do a good job with, like, dealing with consequences of these important moments.
Yeah, and it's almost, in my mind, it's almost as though these poor children are, like, so thoroughly traumatized that they can't experience, like, the depths of their sorrow in the moment. It takes them, like, getting out of the adrenaline high of the fight, or, like, whatever they're doing in the middle of it. Like, I feel as though the books often talk about the, like, battle-ready nature inborn to demigods.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, to me, a function of that, almost.
Yeah, that makes total sense. That, like, you're on the adrenaline high and you are in survival mode. Like, they don't have time to process this shit right now. They are still trying to survive and still on that adrenaline high. And also, they are children. And, like, processing that shit is gonna take a fucking minute. Like, because, you know, you don't always understand what's going on right away. Even if you, like, mentally know what happened, shock is a thing that happens to people. And I feel like, especially kids, like, your processing is going to be really difficult for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And it's one of those things as well where, like, death is so foreign to children as well. They haven't, like, your typical child hasn't experienced death close hand. And when you have a character that's been as built up as Bianca has, we've learnt so much about Bianca in the last few chapters that, you know, we get to a point here where we just lose her. She's gone.
Our guest last chapter fucking called it, because we had been getting, a lot of Bianca, like, personality and lore. She was like,
The death flags.
she's gonna die. Yeah.
So, someone who hadn't read the book.
Oh.
Yeah, she called it. It was incredible.
Shout out to Leela.
Yeah, thanks, Leela. I hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Poor
Oof.
Lila.
Yeah, so that's the end. She's been lost in the land without rain.
Which, like, everyone had been thinking about so hard, and then they get to the desert, and then nobody says anything.
I think that they were in fight or flight. They were still shaken from the last chapter.
Yeah, they were. I guess they're always dealing with something. It's true. But still. Also, Zoe sits down and weeps.
Yeah, she does.
So that's great to know. Yeah, I feel okay. Other people are processing. Percy is not. That's one line. Zoe sat down and wept. Talia slashed the giant's face with her sword. Like, and that's one line, and he moves on, because Percy isn't ready to process this.
Yeah.
Other people are going through it. That's interesting now that I've thought about that. Okay, nothing. We finished the chapter. I'm good now.
We're good. We're absolutely good.
I'm good. Anybody else have any notes? Our guests?
Thoughts?
You have any Percy Jackson thoughts?
I want to talk a little bit about that last Zoe line, because, again, like, maybe this will be too deep in the weeds about what happens later in the book, but, like, I think it is very important as a Zoe character moment, because she was kind of, like, grooming Bianca as her successor,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's just fucking gone, like, days into it.
The fact that Bianca was brand new and showed worry about being brought along on this thing when she's only been here for a couple of days, and that Zoe told her, no, you'll be fine, is like, she's probably feeling so guilty right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a person who she was supposed to care for, who she was bringing into her fold, and who she failed in this in this juncture. At least that's what I would extrapolate she's feeling. I don't remember, but
Yeah.
I, unlike some people, have not read the rest of this book recently.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I definitely think that there are, like, a lot of complex factors in this chapter and a lot of things that happen that aren't fully processed until the end of this book or even books later where we go, oh, wait a second, this was a really consequential moment. I think this is also, like, ups the stakes a little bit more for the rest of the series where we know people have died.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on to our plugs, my boys. Sam, where can the people find you on the internet?
Well, my name's Sam. You can find me at sam.the.journalist on Instagram and on TikTok, and at samobjournalist on Twitter. On Twitter, you're going to see a lot more of my journalism stuff. I'm doing a whole bunch of cool projects that are kind of finishing up towards the end of the year. And you can also listen to my dulcet tones on Content and Capable. You can find Content and Capable wherever you get good podcasts, or Content, the letter N, Capable on Instagram or Twitter. You can also find me at 4ZZZ, that's 4ZZZ.org.au/news. I help run their news department. You'll hear me regularly on a Tuesday at 12 p.m. Brisbane time if you are keen to listen to me in a journalistic sense.
Good shit.
Honest to God, I think the way that Sam acts on every other podcast as opposed to this one is such like a chaotic dichotomy.
I don't know why, but like I am perfectly. Maybe it is because I just like spent an hour, telling everyone on the radio that I'm taking over my friend's show, or it's just that I don't know. Charlie incites some chaotic energy in me.
What did I do?
Specifically this group. You're like, oh, it's funny little guy time.
You're not trying to run your podcast where you pretend to be an adult, so you can just have fun.
Yeah. Make all the sex jokes.
Juice, where can the people find you on the internet?
Hi there, I am Juice. You can find me at Phil Sherwood VO on Twitter. That is my official human being Twitter account.
You're a human being?
My upcoming... No, well, it's the Twitter account upon which I pretend to be a human being. Normally I am just a sentient patch of haze. But yes, normally I do voiceover work because I am an actor. What? But no, I have an upcoming recurring role in the podcast Under the Electric Stars, which is a sci-fi audio drama that I would be so happy if people decided to check out.
Y'all know you want to hear more of Juice. We all
I love hearing Juice's voice.
My Podchaser official page generally will have like an automatically updating feed of the things that I'm in, including the most recent episode of Sam's podcast, Content and Capable.
Woo!
Woo! Plug.
Yes.
Just as a fun little shout out, I would also like to plug my friends, Serena, Rahal, and Reese. Reese, I don't know your last name, I'm sorry. But they do a podcast together. It's an audio fiction podcast called Signed Venus. And recently, Reese PC, I opened another one of your soaps, baby! Reese, on top of being an audio podcast producer, makes soap.
Aw.
Yeah, I have some of their soap in my water closet at present. Anyway, that's me.
Good shit.
Excellent.
Media plugs. I'm sorry, I'm so tired right now.
Yeah, we're almost
Buddy,
done, Charlie.
It's 11 p.m. where I am, so...
Oh, God.
Yeah. Does anyone have some good media plugs for me? What have you been watching,
I want to plug
reading?
She-Hulk. She-Hulk is amazing. I've been really enjoying it. I love the breaking of the fourth wall. It's just, I always love breaking of the fourth wall. It seems to be done in a fairly fun way, in this show. And the plot is really interesting. It's a lot less Marvel-y and a little bit more, this is the TV show kind of thing. So, I definitely suggest go and check it out, even if you aren't the biggest Marvel fan. I do enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to the season finale next week.
Ooh, then I can finally binge it when it's done.
I thought it was already over when I started it, and then was like, oh no, it's not.
That's always the worst when you're like, wait, there's not more? You like catch up and you're like, excuse me?
Oh no.
I've heard good things about it. I just wish she was beefier. That's my only note, having not ever seen the show.
More muscles. Women need more muscles.
I'll give you guys something really quick. Given that we've been talking about D&D a lot on this podcast,
Wow.
For people who haven't played D&D, or maybe do but haven't been able to recently for whatever reason, I have maybe a replacement for you. Like not like a TT RPG. I'm going to talk about a video game that like scratches a little bit of that same itch. Has some similar mechanics. Might be good if you like the idea of D&D but you're not into like role playing with a bunch of people you don't know. Anyways, Wildermyth. It's a pretty good game. It's on Steam.
Ooh.
Yes, it's spelled kind of funny, so I'm going to spell it for you right now. It's Wildermyth. I guess that's exactly how you would think to spell that. Every time there's a Y in something, I'm like...
I was typing it out, I'm just like, that's exactly how I would have thought to spell it.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, it's an indie game. It is $25. And it's a game with narratives that you can go through, like campaigns, but it has random events that can be affected by these personality traits that you give your characters. Like the way that your character talks can be affected by some sliders on some traits that you give them. And so like the customization is very nice. The art style is a little different. It might take some getting used to. It's like papercraft kind of.
Ooh, that sounds cute.
Yeah, it's cute. I really, really enjoy it. But these randomized events that you get can change your character permanently and like build this person's myth and story in a really fun way. Like you can run into some fire spirits, and like if you like accept them by like putting your hand in it, now you have a flame hand and you can use like flame hand attacks during the battle segments.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got 3 classes, so it's I would say that the combat is honestly like kind of similar to D&D combat, but like obviously it's a video game, so it's more restrictive, and it's also a little simpler. I think like there's only 3 classes in this game, or there were. They've updated a couple times since I last played it, but their magic system is affected by the environment, and I feel like it's really creative and interesting. Yeah, if that sounds fun to you, I would definitely recommend checking it out.
Well, my plug is also a game. But
Nice.
it's probably nowhere near as cool sounding as that. I've been very obsessively playing Disney Dreamlight Valley.
I've heard good things, which is fascinating.
It is basically, people online get mad about this description, but it's basically Animal Crossing, but the characters are Disney characters instead. Like there's more plot to it. There is definitely like actual plot besides just like building things and like going around doing your daily tasks.
I listened to an episode from God, what's their show called? The Besties game podcast about this, and they told me that Minnie Mouse is dead, and you have to deal with Mickey's grief, and her
dead.
like ghost is in the place.
Let me explain the premise of this game to you, okay? So like the basics is like it becomes like Animal Crossing. But like so the lore behind it is that this is This is Dreamlight Valley. It's people have been lost and forgotten there. There's like a bunch of dream thorns or night thorns, sorry, that are like evil and like making people forget shit. And like there's only a few people wandering around, like being like, why am I here? What am I doing? What's going on? It's just Merlin, Mickey, and Scrooge at the start. Great things. Scrooge is the Tom Nook of the game. Just so you know.
Of course he is.
He is the capitalist.
Yeah. That all checks out.
Wait, I'm sorry, Scrooge McDuck?
Yes, Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck, you know, the billionaire.
Yeah. And then Goofy is like his little underling. Goofy is like Timmy and Tommy. Because he sells stuff for Scrooge. Anyway, so yeah, you go to this land, you just like appear out of nowhere, and it's like you have this weird magic that like allows you to get rid of the night thorns so you can help people stop forgetting things. And it keeps progressing, you get more characters. And yeah, so you start seeing Minnie's ghost, but it's not really a ghost. She's trapped in a weird netherworld because she's forgotten, and she forgets things, and it's also really sad when you finally get her back, because I did get her back. She's fully on this plane again, and then she forgets Mickey. She's like,
that's so fucked
like,
up.
the first thing she says to you is like, oh, are you Mickey? It's like, I know I'm supposed to find Mickey. No. So you have to go on a quest to help her remember that she loves Mickey, and it's great. Right now I'm doing the same thing, but it's Kristoff and Anna, basically. Kristoff had to give up his love for Anna to save the town for some reason. I've forgotten at this point. But, like, yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of weirdness. No one else is a ghost. It was just Minnie. Most other people you get to through, like, portals, and, yeah. It's a time.
It sounds fascinating. It really does.
It's very cool. And there's supposed to be an update soon because it's still technically in beta.
Oh?
Yeah. And I've like almost caught up with everything they've done. Because I've been playing it obsessively. I keep being like, I'm gonna take a break and stop playing this game for a while. And then I pick it up a couple hours later. I'm like, I'm gonna take a break for a few days.
That's exactly how I feel about Project Sekai, honestly.
I just keep doing it.
Okay, I need you guys to understand, this game has achievements for getting in the top 100,000 of the event rankings. And in the last event that I put effort into, I was in the top 3,000.
Nice.
Wow.
And this is the international server. Anyway, mobile games make me insane. Is this a mobile game?
It's on, like, computer and Switch. I have it on my Switch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if it's on Steam or, yeah, but I know my mom has it on her computer, and I have it on my Switch, and she hates the controls on the computer, and I'm just like, I have no problems here. I'm doing great.
I heard it was buggier on Switch, though. Maybe they've updated it since.
It does kick me off more often. It does kick me off a little bit more often, but the controls are better.
So you gotta pick your poison there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still skippy a little bit. Like, I unlocked the last area, and it's like, it does not play the music because it keeps skipping through the music a lot.
No.
It's not great.
Okay, I lost track. Juice, did you get one yet?
I did plug the podcast.
Yes.
That Serena and Reese make, but I would actually also like to plug something. I knew what it was 10 minutes ago.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. We're very distracting.
It's okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna plug the band Ghost. Go listen to some Satanist music, kids. It's fun. It's fun.
Heck
and good
yeah.
for you.
Amazing. It's the time for it. I mean, maybe it won't be by the time this comes out, but right now it's spoopy time.
Spoopy.
It's the big spoop. Okay,
Friends, I need to pee so bad. Are we?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
We're fucking good.
Okay.
Get out of my fucking cabin. I'm gonna go into this junkyard of the gods and maybe die.
No! Charlie!
Die!
Charlie, come back!
Bye.
Die!
Charlie, don't touch anything! You can follow the podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and at Of the Eldest Gods on Twitter. You can send an iris message to us through oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, go to patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Movie Night Crew Network server, where you get to chat with us and hear some no-context spoilers about episodes we are recording. I personally recommend the $5 tier, where you get access to Against All Odds, our bonus show where we talk about basically anything vaguely related to mythology, Percy Jackson, or whatever we like. We also have a merch store on TeePublic, where all our designs are made by Charlie. Or if you cannot support us financially, please give us a review on iTunes and rate us on Spotify to help others know how much you love this podcast. You can follow me, Ray, at HeyHeyRay on Twitter. I also have another podcast called Barbie Movie Slap, where my co-host Ted and I talk about the Barbie cinematic universe. You can check out that podcast Twitter at Barbie Slaps.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, but on Twitter, I'm at GreenPixie123, which I'm totally not salty about. I also have an art Instagram that I sometimes use at GreenPixieDraws. I sometimes do the YouTube thing on my channel, Charlie Mack, that's MACK, and I also have another podcast on the network called Fandoms Gone Wrong, where my mom and I talk about movies, TV shows, books, whatever other fandoms we enjoy. You can find that on all the major podcasting apps. Our music was written by Isabel Strauss-Riggs and recorded and edited by Ian M. Riggs. You can find Izzy at Kane_I, that's I as in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast.
Of the Eldest Gods is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like My Cabbages, an Avatar podcast that follows the true hero of the Avatar The Last Airbender series, the Cabbage Cart Guy.
Coffee, tea, honor, cabbage. Long ago, the four elements lived in harmony. Then, shit went totally cray when the Avatar attacked. Only the Cabbage Man, merchant of fine cruciferous vegetables, could stand against his trolling. But when the world needed some dank veg, he vanished. 10 years have passed, and my partner and I have started a new podcast.
My Cabbages! An Avatar podcast.
A weekly show about Avatar The Last Airbender. Whether it's Sokka's new line of cologne...
Hey, look at you, sitting there on a seal. Well, now look back at me. I'm on an even bigger seal. Now look away.
D&D related antics.
You have to make an acrobatics check for that, and Aang just, unzips his pants and whips out his D20s. He's just like, I got this.
Or randomly breaking into song.
Go bending waterfall.
We'll stumble our way through the greatest show ever made, one episode at a time.
You can reach us at CabbageCast, which is our Twitter, or
subscribe wherever you catch pod.
Rotten cabbages? What kind of slum do you think this is?
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now we are discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday. So, what I wanted to say after we started recording was how much of a mistake this is.
Oh, yeah. We're not getting any work done. We're the group that, the teacher checks up on and goes, what the fuck did you do the last hour?
That's why this group is on this chapter, honestly.
No, Charlie, our episodes go long normally. This chapter is twice as long as the other chapters.
I was about to say,
we brought on
why
two
did you
guests,
make me read so many pages?
Specifically these ones.
You could have stopped me at any time, Ray. You could have stopped me.
I didn't know I was a fool. I mean...
we all make mistakes.
I didn't know it was this long either.
God bless America.
Does everyone remember their fucking cabins? 'Cause I have them written down if you don't.
I don't. I'm sorry. I'm stupid.
I'm
Sam,
from...
cabin 11.
11. Hermes. I shop at Hermes, which is like a fancy store.
Okay, so I'm gonna pretend that I had Zoop. I'm gonna pretend I had Zoom open so that I couldn't put my hand up. But I got made fun of so intensely a couple of years ago because we were walking in downtown Toronto and we passed the Hermes store. And my two companions were like, "What's Hermes?" And I was like, "Oh, Hermes. It's like this fancy brand." And they're like, "Why do you call it that?" And I'm like, "It's how they pronounce it on the Italian news channel, okay?" And I didn't know I was right. I didn't know I was right for years.
Is it in Princess Diaries that they're like Hermes scarves, or they call it Hermes scarves? I don't know.
Oh, this is fascinating to me because I've never heard of this brand in my life.
Oh, I'll have to
I
send
just
you,
had a
I'll
quote
send you
enter my brain
photos.
about this.
There's a store around the corner from where I am right now.
Yeah, Juice, you're Canadian. You'd think that, like, French pronunciations of things would be, like, normal, but...
You would think.
You would think.
It's Canada, you know?
Canada.
God,
oh,
Canada. Come to say I love you all.
Hi, Teddy! Teddy! Sit down, Ted!
There was a chorus of yay and Teddy and I love you.
I miss you, Teddy.
They're doing a little dance.
Wait, okay, bring Ted closer to the mic, please.
Bro, we are
Please.
already on so much shit right now. I can't.
Ray, you need to bring Ted closer to the mic. I can't hear them.
Can Ted just join the episode halfway through?
Ted was saying some things about Half-Life VR AI. So
we stand Benry in this house.
I forgot that Bush was president. For a very long time, I thought Barack Obama was president during 9/11, because there's this video of Barack Obama reading a book to children when he's informed that 9/11 is happening, because he was the vice president at the time.
Okay, you're Australian. I feel like that's entirely understandable that you would have that misconception.
I knew that Bush was the president in, like, the early 2000s, but in the back of my head, it was like 2001, Barack Obama was president.
Sam, I'm sorry. Did you just say the words Barack Obama and vice president, implying that Barack Obama was vice president?
Oh, he wasn't, was he?
Fuck!
Sam was Australian. We can forgive him.
No. I couldn't name a single prime minister or what the fuck ever of Australia.
You don't need to. They change so often that we don't know.
Also, I hear some wild shit about them on Tumblr. Didn't one of them just, like, disappear in the ocean and no one cared?
I know nothing about world politics.
And then they named a swimming pool after him.
We did. We're also trying to name a class of submarines after him. That's a
God, y'all fucking hilarious.
Australians are wild.
I'm sorry, Ray. You are about to have to edit out the most intense tummy rumble I've ever had in my life. I'm so sorry.
Are you hungry? Are you hungry, babe? Do you need food?
I am so hungry.
Oh no, babe. We gotta speed up. We gotta get our friend some snackage.
Snackage. It's like cleavage, but snacks.
Anyways, don't worry about any noises. My cough has gotten fucking worse, which is annoying.
Oh, no.
I had COVID 2.5 months ago.
People are trying to convince me that my, like, fatigue is because I've had COVID in May. And I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
That could be true, though.
That,
It
like,
could be.
Sam,
chronic
that is a long
fatigue
COVID
syndrome is a potential long COVID
symptom.
My God. Symptom. Simpsons.
Simpsons. It's the Simpsons.
I mean, Ted is right.
else wears a bulletproof vest? Leon Kennedy.
You need to get out of here. Ted, we're going way off topic. You need to get out of here.
I just enjoy any time.
Anything.
Ted is around. Also, Ted, I love your hair.
Charlie loves your hair. Thank you. It's Halloween.
It is Halloween. You look like a jack-o'-lantern.
Actually, it looks like Pumpkin Velma.
You look like Pumpkin Velma.
I love it.
I love you, baby.
Velma gay.
Velma gay.
Velma gay.
Velma gay.
Y'all hear the Velma gay?
Velma is gay.
Yeah, the apparently a movie or some news about a movie I think came out
It's Trick or Treat,
like 2 days.
Scooby-Doo. I am recording it.
She has a crush on a woman in it.
I think the woman is also like, you are pretty cool too. So
there are going to be ripple effects. It's like when Hughes dies in Full Metal Alchemist, and your characters are going to think about that. Edward won't forget.
Wow,
He'll remember
spoilers for
that.
Full Metal Alchemist.
October 3rd was 3 days ago.
I know.
Don't talk to me about this.
All right, Mean Girls Day.
No.
For as little as $1 a month, you can join our Discord server. While this chaos is happening, I'm just going to do an ad read real quick, For as little as $1 a month, you can join our Discord server where you can hear chaos such as this, and where we use the hot GIF react for basically half the things that people post in the server.
Yeah, this is true. Wow. I'm just gonna have,
I've gotten rid of them.
I'm gonna have so many outtakes to put at the end. It's gonna be like a bunch of like fake out, like, it's ending. Oh,
Yeah.
it's ending. Oh, it's ending. No, we're just gonna have like 50 endings for all the outtakes.
It'll just be like another episode, just like after the credits.
Basically.
Yeah, you don't need a bonus episode this month. It's just us.
Dave X Media.